everyone, it's Hannah from Hand Done Crochet, and today we are making this cute granny stitch hat together. The pattern comes in sizes Premature baby all the way through to large adult, and I'll pop the link in the description below as to where you can get either the ad-free version or to view it on my blog. To make the hats, I used Colour Theory yarn from Lion brand, which is a worsted weight category 4 yarn, and all the information again is in the description below. You'll also need a 4mm crochet hook, or the hook size that meets the gauge of the pattern for you, a pair of scissors, a needle for your ends, and a little pom-pom if you would like to add one to the top of your hat. Now you'll see in the description below and in the pattern that I've used lots of different colours, and I've added all the details of the colours that I used for each hat. But for this 3 to 6 month, we're going to be using these 4 neutral colours here, and I'm going to be using the cream one here for the band and then working the other 3 throughout the hat body. And you see you don't need very much yarn at all, so this is a brilliant stash buster project. To begin our hat, we are going to be working this band, and we work it back and forth in rows and then join it and add the hat body onto it. And then once we've finished all of that, we then turn up the band. So if you want to adjust it, just make sure you think about the fact that it will be turned up here. So to begin the 3 to 6 month version that we're doing here, we're going to pop a slip knot on the hook, and then we are going to chain 16. And so once you've got your chains that you need, we're going to now work back along those, starting in the second chain from the hook, and we're going to be working in the back bumps here. So we swivel it on its side, pop our hook into the back bump here, and we're going to work a single crochet in each of the chains along. So here we are at the next back bump, and we're going to pop a single crochet in here, and we just carry on until we run out of stitches. And now that we've worked a single crochet in each, we are going to turn our work. And to begin row 2, we are going to chain 1. And for this row, we are going to work in the back loop only of the stitches. So if we turn it on its side here, we can see these back loops popping up at us. That's where we're going to put all of the stitches, and they're going to be yarn over slip stitches for this row. So we yarn over and we pop our hook into the back loop here of the stitch. We yarn over again and we pull through, and we continue to pull through everything. Now, if you've not worked yarn over slip stitches before, my top tip I'll show you on this one will be yarn over and pop through the stitch, the back loop where we need it to be, yarn over and pull through, and then rather than keep pulling in this direction, twist and pull through here at the back, because you'll have much more space for your yarn to come through your hook. Rather than pulling it and forcing it, turn it and twist and pull it through. They're just like slip stitches, they need more space, so make sure that you create that for them. So then this whole row is just carry on working a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch until you get to the ends. So at the end of this row, we are going to turn and begin row 3, and you see we've already got this lovely ridged effect here. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to look for the back bumps again, back loop, sorry again, and we are going to work a single crochet in the back loop only of each of the stitches along this row. So your stitch count will remain the same throughout your ribbing, because this is all we need to now keep repeating. So at the end of the row, we turn our work, and then we are going to repeat what we did for row 2. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only of each of the stitches along. And then that forms the repeat for the whole of the hat rib. We're going to repeat rows 3 and 4 that we have here now. So a single crochet in the back loop only, a row of those, and then a yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only. It's very hard to think while you're actually crocheting. And you do that for the amount of rows that it tells you in the pattern for the size that you're making. So I obviously need to make a lot more. I need to make 48 rows for this size, and then I'll meet you back here and we will join the band together. And here I am on the last stitch, and that will complete the amount of rows that we need. Then we need to have a look, because we have the wrong side facing us here and the right side, and we know it's the right side because we've got this nice ridge. So what we're going to do is fold it over so that we have got the right side on the inside here to join it. And now we're in position. We are going to pop our hook into the back loop here of this first stitch, and then we are going to scoot across and pop in the back loop only of that first stitch there. And this one's always a bit fiddly. The first one, that's a slip stitch there to join those, and then the rest are much easier. We're going to go into the back loop of the next stitch and the back loop of that stitch that's the corresponding one. So just match up your stitches. As long as your stitch count has remained the same, this should work beautifully, and just work all the way along until the rib is joined. And then don't break your yarn unless you are wanting to change colour, and I would recommend that you stick in this same colour for the first round of the hat body because it will look much neater. So here we are at the end of that join, and we have the top of the hat to come next. Now, the top of the hat can work in this direction because when we turn over our rib, this will be the right side facing us. So now we are in exactly the right place that we need to be. Although it may not feel like it, we are going to put the right side of our stitches on the wrong side of the rib, so that when we turn up our rib, our hat band, it will be facing the right direction. I promise it doesn't make sense, but I promise it works. And so what we're going to be doing is working in the side of each of the rows of the rib now. So we have 48 rows for this size, so we're going to end up with 48 stitches here. So here we are ready to begin, and to start with I'm going to work a stacked double crochet in the side of this first row. You can work a chain 3 if you prefer, but I much prefer the look of a stacked double crochet. So it begins with a single crochet as I've just done there, and then we're going to work into this loop, this part of the single crochet, and we're going to stack another single crochet right on top of it. So just work that next single crochet and that will bring it up to the height of a double crochet. And then it's plain sailing because we're ready to then put a double crochet into the side of each of the rows all the way around this hat now. So when we get to the end here, we're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join. And then before going any further, I would just go around and check your stitch count, because it's really important that we have the right number of stitches here on this round. Well, every round I suppose, but this one in particular. So you can change colour wherever you would like on your hat, and I'm going to show you how to do it here. So I've broken my yarn and have my tails here at the back of our work, so that it's much easier to see where we're going to join. Now that we know we've got the right number of stitches in our round, we need to start working between the stitches to create our 3 double crochet clusters that give the look of the granny stitch that we need. So we're going to go between stitches. You can choose any 2 stitches you like, but I would recommend that you keep them all towards this same area so that all of your ends are kind of in a space, and all of your stacked stitches will all be together around the hat. So we're going to join our new yarn here, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to work a stacked double crochet here in this first space between the stitches. And then once we've done that, we're also going to work another 2 double crochet. Once I've got organized, we're going to work another 2 double crochet in that same space there. And that creates our first cluster of 3 double crochet stitches. And now what we need to do is skip the next 3 stitches of the previous round. So these 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then before the next stitch, so we're creating another space here, we're going to make 3 double crochet stitches, all in that same space that we create between those stitches. And then we skip the next 3 stitches, and then we create a new space, and we're going to work 3 double crochet in that one there. And then again, you've probably guessed, we skip 1, 2, 3, and then we work 3 double crochet. So we carry on repeating this all the way around until you get to the last 3 stitches. Now here we are on the last stitch of that round, and then when we've done that, we're going to skip the next 3 stitches and then slip stitch into that first stitch to join. Now if you are going to carry on in this same colour of yarn, we are going to need to slip stitch through the next 2 stitches and then into this space here, because that's where we're going to start our next cluster of these double crochet stitches. But if you are going to change your yarn colour just like I am, then you are going to need to break your yarn here and then join to that space to begin the next round. So once you're ready with your new colour, we're going to pop into a space, any of those spaces, and join with a chain one, and then we're going to work a stacked double crochet here, just like we did with the previous round. A stacked double crochet and then 2 more double crochet in that same space. And then we're going to skip the next 3 stitches and then find our next space and pop 3 double crochet in that next space. Now they're a lot easier to find now we've actually created the clusters of the previous round, and they kind of pop up at you. So all we're going to now do for this round and the subsequent rounds that stay the same stitch count is to work 3 double crochet in each of them. And you can change colour as many times as you like, you can stay in the same colour, you can do whatever you fancy. And the different sizes have different numbers of repeats of this round. For this size, we're going to do 6 rounds of this stitch count, and then we will decrease to form the top of the hat. So work the rounds that you need to do and then come and meet me for the top. Once we've done the amount of rounds that we need for the size that you're making, we are going to decrease the top and close the hat. And we're going to start really similarly. I can never say that word. We're going to join our yarn into a space and we're going to chain one and then work a stacked double crochet here, just as we have been to start our rounds. And then also another 2 double crochet in here. So just a regular 3 double crochet cluster in this first space that we have here. Then once we've done that, we need to start decreasing. And the way that we do that is to work 1 cluster of stitches over these 2 spaces. So rather than work 1 either side, we are going to work 1 across the 2. And we are going to begin in the same way as usual by working a double crochet into that first one. And then we're going to start the next double crochet, but we're not going to finish it. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and rather than yarn over and complete that stitch, we're going to yarn over and begin a new stitch here in this space. Now it's basically a double crochet 2 together that we're doing here. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 now, and then we yarn over and pull through all 3. So you see that bridges across that cluster and it's going to create 1 cluster out of 2 spaces. And then we finish off by working a double crochet here in that second one, and that then decreases, so we've got 1 cluster here rather than having 2 as we would have done. And now the next space we're going to work a regular 3 double crochet cluster here. So we're going to do 1, 2 and 3 there. And now we're ready to decrease over the next 2 again. So these 2 here, we're going to work a double crochet to begin with, and then we'll do this double crochet 2 together. So begin there and then finish that over in the next space, and then double crochet in the second space there to finish. And then we're going to work a regular set here, so 3 double crochet in this space. And then we're ready to decrease again. And then we continue in this way all the way around. However, if you're making one of the other sizes, you'll see that in the written pattern it changes. The sequence of where you do your decreases is dramatically different for different sizes of hat. So if you're making another size, you'll need to make sure to check in the pattern, the link is in the description below, of exactly where. Now in this last space here, I'm going to work my last set of 3 double crochet. And then when I've done that, I will be ready here to join in this first stitch for the end of that round. And now the next round for all the sizes is the same. We don't do any decreasing on this round. So we are going to begin in the same way as always with a stacked double crochet here, and then 2 double crochet in that space, and then a 3 double crochet set in each of the spaces around. Now, the only thing to look out for on this round is when you come across a decrease from the round below, like this one. We just need to make sure that you pop into the space after that decrease and not into the middle, because it just is so wide that it's sometimes easy to miss that. And then again, we slip stitch in the first to join the end of that round. Now for the next round, we are decreasing again. And this is different in this round because we're going to be doing it right from the very beginning. So we're going to join as normal and work our stacked double crochet in this first stitch. But then we're also going to be using that to decrease. So we work that stacked double crochet here, and then we begin our decrease and finish over in this next space here. And then complete that decrease by working a double crochet in that one there. And we carry on doing that around. So we're going to decrease, we're going to start here with a double crochet, then we are going to double crochet 2 together over the next spaces, and then a double crochet in here. Now this is another round where you need to check for your size how it works, because at the end of this size we are going to have 1 space left and we're going to do a regular set of 3 double crochet, but some sizes you will, some sizes you won't. Just make sure you check for the size you're making. Here we are at that last space and we're going to work 3 double crochet in there, and then we've completed that. We will slip stitch in the first stitch to join, which will feel quite a long way away because it's decreased into the next one. So slip stitch in there and then break your yarn and change colour if you want to start the final round. So here we are ready for the final round. We're going to join our yarn just as normal, and we're going to do the same as we did in the previous round and begin decreasing straight away. So we stack a double crochet there and then we start to decrease. We have to skip this whole decrease from the round below, so it's a long way away, but complete your decrease here and then work another double crochet into that second space that we have. And then we have to flip around already because we're going to carry on working decreases all the way around. Skip that next one and start here in the next space. So then we have a decrease in this one too, working into this next one, and finish with a double crochet. And then our final stitch, as we turn around again, we're going to skip this one and go into this space here and work a decrease over the next 2 spaces, so the one we're in and the very last one. And then we need to find our first stitch of the round again. It's a long way away. And we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join and complete the hat. And then we're going to break our yarn, and I would say if you're going to add a pom-pom and it's one you need to sew on, leave yourself a good length of yarn so that you can use this to sew your pom-pom on with. Now before adding any pom-pom, we need to of course close the top of the hat. So I'm just going to thread through the last round of stitches here. And then once you've done that, you can pull tight and then you are ready to put your pom-pom on. Now the ones that I have got a little elasticy hoop here that you can attach them with, but I know that you can get ones with like buttons or poppers, lots of different ways to secure your pom-pom. So however you would prefer to do it, that's entirely up to you. And I'm just not going to secure it here because I really want to show you just what it looks like here. So make sure you do weave in that end, obviously. And I'm just going to turn it back and show you just how cute it looks. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you make a hat, please do come and show me. I would absolutely love to see. I'm hand and crochet all over the place, wherever you'd expect to find me. So come and find me, show me your hat, and I will see you again soon.